Creating content is one of the fastest ways for you to be able to replace your 9-to-5 job and start living a life on your terms and one that you and your family deserve. And I'm going to share everything in this video. But firstly, we must debunk the naysayers, the myths of business which are outdated and no longer relevant, because there are still people out there who don't want you to succeed and will tell you business is risky. It's not. It literally starts from content creation. If you have no idea on what business you want to start, listen to this video, because things evolve when you start creating and you actually start taking action and doing the thing that needs to be done. And then the business will reveal itself with the things that I'm going to share in this video, because there's a method to the madness. But this is what we need to debunk. Businesses are not risky in the modern day age that we live in. Now, once upon a time, and you'll hear people try and put you off business, it was renting an office, renting a warehouse, vehicles, hiring employees, loads of overheads, taking out a bank loan. That's all gone. Okay, so when people try and come in my comments and they're like, starting a business is not that easy, you need money to make money, they haven't got a clue what they're going on about. It's totally irrelevant and outdated. I've never taken a bank loan. I don't have loads of employees. And, you know, to some of my content where I talk about last one in, first one out, work on yourself first, quietly quit and build your dreams, not your employers, people say to me, oh, well, is that how you treat your employees? I don't have employees. I have freelance remote workers who do everything on their own terms, right? And they just complete the projects or whatever they're doing in their own time. That's the beauty of the digital age that we're in. And it starts from content creation. So rule number one, banish and have a zero tolerance to anyone who's poo-poos business. Anyone who says, oh, well, business, you need loads of money, you need a bank. You don't. Start creating content and things will evolve from there, which is what I'm going to share in this video. Businesses now are literally created from an idea and a concept and validation. So if you're watching this and you're thinking, Aaron, I would love to start a business and escape my 9-to-5. I'm here to remind you, you can. I promise you, you really can go on to build a little small business that is profitable and could replace your average salary of, let's just say, £2,000 to £3,000 a month, right? If you just need enough money to be able to fire your boss, you can do that through content creation in many different ways. Now, here's how businesses are now built. You ask the market questions by talking about things that you are passionate about, that you have knowledge in, and you put that into call to action content, which is value driven. So for example, if you're going to start on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, post content and just start talking about things that you enjoy and that you're passionate about. But instead of just talking about them, add a call to action. Let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree. What do you think about this? Have you ever gone through this problem before? If I could create something for you to solve this problem, which I've been through, what would that look like? Let me know. Click on the link in my bio and fill out my questionnaire form. I would love to know if I could help you. Ask the market questions. So for example, in early 2023, I started my education business. Now that came off the back of a viral video, which was last one in, first one out. And I had hundreds of people per day ask me, how do I escape my 9-to-5? How do I escape my 9-to-5? Aaron, I need out of my job. I want out of my job. I want to start a business. And I was being asked that question hundreds of times every day. So it stemmed from content creation of me just being authentic and talking about things that I felt very passionate about. I had knowledge in my 9-to-5 from all these different experiences that I went through and that I witnessed myself. And I put that into content which was relatable and almost subconsciously asking the viewers a question, whether they agree or whether they don't. And through that, I got market feedback in the comments. Now, if you're watching this video, I would go one step further and always have a call to action and direct someone to like a questionnaire form so that you can collect answers and data, because then you can review data from those who fill it out and then you can go about making a plan on a business. But all of this simply starts by just creating content on all the platforms. And as you start to develop a personal brand, a voice, a reputation and credibility, and you start to develop trust, you can ask your viewers more questions. And if you get a common answer coming back, you should start thinking about formulating a product or a service to solve that pain point which keeps coming into your social ecosystem. Now, here's the other thing. From building a business online through content creation, you can also scale it very quick. Now, here's something I want to attack and really address. If you are a content creator and you start making money, you are a business owner. There are too many people out there at the moment saying, oh, influencer, content creator, not a real business owner. Now, let me tell you something. I'm in business before content creation, but my content and my social media personal brand does over 6 figures per annum. When you're churning over 6 figures per annum, believe me, you are a business owner. If you are strategizing, you are creating call to action, value driven, informative content, you are planning, and you are building your brand and your business. If you are then monetizing on the platform and monetizing off of the platform, you are showing up daily. You have a routine and structure for your content, your personal brand, and you're adding loads of value into the social ecosystem, the market in which you're serving. You are a business owner. If you create a course or a program or any type of e-learning or books or paid memberships, you are building a modern day age business. And ignore the people who call you scammers. Ignore the people who try to put you down, who hate on you in the comments when you are creating, because they are outdated and they are out of touch with reality. There were scammers in banks, furniture stores, cafes, restaurants. There were scammers in industrial physical businesses. Ignore people who aren't moving with the times, because content creators now are very profitable business owners. They lead by their personal brand, they build a back-end business, and they monetize on the front end and the back end. And here's the great thing. With content creation, once you start creating and you're able to monetize and you have a service and product, it's forever giving. So for example, you create a YouTube video, once it forever gives. You go into a job, you only get paid for the 8-10 hours that you're there. It's not forever giving. You're paid when you turn up and then it stops when you clock out. Social media and content creation is a great way to create sustainability with low startup capital, if not none at all. Scalability is super fast because you outsource all your weaknesses. You take on an editor, a videographer, freelance team members. They don't have to go on to employment contracts, so you're not subject to employment law. You're not liable for them because there's all these freelancers on Fiverr, Upwork, and wherever else you can find them, or people buy referrals. It's so low cost to run an online 2025 plus onwards business. And it has been for the last few years. And we will see more personal brands earning hundreds of thousands, millions of pounds with only one person in the business who runs it and everyone else is freelance. This is the funny thing. People aren't yet realizing that personal brands are the way forward to get out of a 9-to-5. My TikTok earns an average between £4,000 to £7,000 a month on average collectively. Doing brands and sponsors, I charge anywhere from £3,000 to £5,000 per video. There's so many ways to monetize purely by doing something that you love, by creating content. But here's the trick. The difference between you and your dreams becoming a reality is just taking the action to start. So if you are someone who really wants to escape their 9-to-5, my best advice to you is find that thing that you're incredibly passionate about, that you have knowledge in, that you've got a lot of experience, and just start converting that into value and information which you can share on all social media platforms. Go through how-tos, tutorials, tips and tricks, the do's and don'ts, the mistakes that you've made, the failures, the lessons that you've learnt, things to avoid and what people should be aware of in any industry. It could be about freaking chewing gum. It could be about Vaseline. It could be about water bottles. It could be about fitness, finance, entrepreneurship, travel, lifestyle, photography, editing, gaming. You name it. And I really want to say to all of you, ignore the haters because they are going to be there lurking in the shadows. I always have a few haters on all of my videos who are like, don't listen to this guy, never trust anyone with a tattoo on his neck. All of it. They're always there. And hate never comes from above. You'll always get it from the ground below, off the bottom of your shoe, the cockroaches that don't want you to do well. And it's because they have massive insecurities. So I really want you to take from this video as well, be bold, be brave, think about that thing that you love, that you could talk to someone about all day and just put that into content. Grab a camera. It doesn't have to be a fancy one. You start using your phone. I've got my Rode wireless mics, but you could go on Amazon, get yourself a cheap £25 plug-in mic. This is the one that I use for TikTok, and just start creating content. Because what happens, things evolve. When the market, AKA the viewers on social media, start saying, oh my God, I love that, or, that really helped me, or could you do a video on this, or hey, could I ask for your advice? And then you start getting the DMs on Instagram, and you start getting people in your comments, and you start realizing that you're helping people. That's when your light bulb moments are going off, and you're thinking, hang on a minute, I'm really helping people here just by creating free content. I wonder if I could start a free membership where I just get people into a Facebook group or a WhatsApp group, and for 3-4 months I'll just nurture them, and I'll host like a workshop once a month. And if it starts to go really well, then you could go, for example, on your calculator, you could be like, well, I'm putting in a lot of time and effort, I'm adding loads of value, maybe I just charge $9.99 a month. I've got 50 members already, but if I could just get 100 members, well, that's $1,000. I'm going to make $1,000 a month just by charging $9.99 to join a very exclusive, value-driven, informative WhatsApp group which has a monthly workshop which brings people together, helps support them, and solves all their pain points. You could write a book. Behind me, you can't see it, but there's one of my books on Amazon. That forever sells every week. It's just passive income. I don't do anything for it. There's so many ways that you could monetize. Now, what I really want to stress is the sheer amount of money that you can make on social media. I'm on TikTok, obviously YouTube, and my Instagram. Now combined, it's well over 6 figures. But let me just talk to you about TikTok, because that's where I've really smashed it for the last 28 months. I've done over 170 grand on TikTok collectively through ad revenue, through sponsors, brand deals, paid speaking gigs, collaboration / endorsements that I've done with people. Just a huge amount of money to be made on that platform TikTok, but also YouTube as well. Now, there has to be a fair exchange. If you're going to create content, don't be a vanity creator, be an informer. Because if you're just creating content because you like it and you want people to look at you and go, oh, wow, you're never going to build something sustainable. Whereas like Gary Vee says, jab, 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 right hook, or Alex Amosi says, give, 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 get. It all has to be about your viewer / potential customer. Just inform people and educate them. That's sustainability in itself, because people will always watch educational content. Then start to do like tutorial contents on how to teach them how to do a certain thing, and hyper niche, like really niche into a subject that you love and that you're passionate about, and you will build a community that will eventually buy from you. And there is nothing wrong with selling things online in the digital space as a content creator. We went from the word influencer, now we're at kind of content creator, but you can call yourself a business owner if you're educating people and you're solving problems. Ignore all those people that might call you scammers in the future, or a silly influencer, or whatever they're holding on to, and sticking to that outdated wording and concepts and all that lot. You are a business owner. If you have a routine, if you batch record, if you're building processes, if you're looking at analytics on your YouTube, your TikTok, your Instagram, you are thinking like a business owner. And what's an entrepreneur? A creator. An innovator. Well, what's a content creator? They sit down, they think of ideas, they think of concepts, hooks, the body of the video, the call to action, how to drive traffic. They review it, they reverse engineer concepts, they follow blueprints, they look for success models, they apply it, they tweak it, they learn. So ignore anyone who tries to put you off creating content. It's the way the future is going. It's already here. A personal brand is so important. Look at my friend Simon Squibb. Look what he has done in the last 24 months. 24 months ago, people didn't even know who Simon Squibb was. Now the entire world knows who he is. His back-end business, Help Bank, valuation of $50 million. His personal brand, I can only imagine, is churning out hundreds of thousands of dollars per month. Will people call him a silly content creator? No, of course not. Because look at what he's doing. Look at the impact he's having. Look at the amount of people that he's helping. He's helping far more people than a traditional business of just, selling furniture, or a warehouse and an office might have, with employees and a bank loan. He's making huge impact, low cost, fast scalability, a lean business model, no requirements needed, no degree needed, didn't need college, it didn't need, like I said, degrees, A-levels, uni, it didn't need any of that. It needed initiative, an idea, and serving people. Honestly, content creation is the best way for low entry, no startup capital needed, accessible to everyone, because we all have a voice, we all have knowledge, we all have our own experiences, freaking audio, a camera, and start posting valuable content. And a year, 2, 3 years later, your entire life could change. New doors would have opened up. There was a saying, if you create informational content, and this wasn't the full saying, but it was along these lines, if you create informational content and you show up every single day and deliver consistently, you'll never have to worry about money again. The meaning behind that is, if you keep serving people, the whole life of equilibrium, you know, it will come back to you, and it really will. I mean, think about this. My TikTok has made more than a high-end doctor in London. Think about that. I didn't go to college, I didn't go to uni, I just took action and started to share my authentic message with people, and after delivering for a certain amount of time, I started to get enough feedback in order to start to make a commercial move to building more of a monetized personal brand and start to benefit on the back end with my businesses. So believe me, if you want to go full-time as a business owner / content creator and fire your boss at work, you can. Put in the graft, take action, learn, evolve, copy what other people are doing and add it into your thing. Hyper niche, be consistent. There are no guarantees. Don't want this easy, by the way. Don't take shortcuts, and just keep serving people, and subconsciously and very smartly ask questions within your content. Within the body, whether it's verbal or whether it's a pop-up text or something like that, ask people questions. If I could help you with this, would you want that? Have you been through this? Have you ever experienced this? Get them to go into the comments and say, oh my God, I've been through that. Yeah, that's what I want. I need that in my life. I am rooting for every single one of you. All the naysayers and the haters out there, people who try to put you down and, oh, you know, another scammer, oh, digital content creator, influencer, talking out their rear end. Ignore all of them. Hate never comes from above. It only comes from down below, off the bottom of your shoe. Any negative comment, anyone that judges you, doesn't want you to do well, it's because they have massive insecurities. Myself and no one else would ever go on a piece of content and put some hate, because we're too focused on what we're doing. You know, just a final few points. Be driven, never distracted. Never be bored, be busy. You know, make a plan. Otherwise, society has one for you. And finally, make sure you watch both of my full course tutorials. How to quit your job and build an online business, which is part 1. And then part 2, what business models will replace your 9 to 5. Go study these videos, make actionable notes, and go away and actually follow through with it. Because both of these videos combined will get you out of a job, whether it's in content creation or some form of digital online business, which again, will not only thrive, but survive in today's market. That's what it's about, living life on your terms. Do not work for someone else for 45, 50 years and be happy to retire at the ripe old decrepit age of 70 years old and hopefully have enough pension money to last you the next, hopefully 10 to 12 years of your life. Don't do it to yourself. Regret will bite hard. Anyway, until next time, I am wishing you all the best. Honestly, go check out those videos. They'll be at the end of this one. And until next time, my good people, peace out. I'll see you all soon.